Happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to another episode of my YouTube channel, Data Science with Sam. In today's video, I'll talk about the logistic regression basics. If you remember, in my previous series, I talked about linear regression, a very popular supervised learning. But in today's video, I'll talk about the another supervised learning, which is also very useful when you build your machine learning model. So let's get started. So what is logistic regression? Logistic regression is also a very powerful supervised learning mechanism that's been used in the regression analysis phase to conduct certain machine learning model when we deal with categorical variable as output. For example, if you want to build a machine learning model that will predict an email as spam or non-spam, then we use logistic regression. There are three categories in logistic regression. One is binary classification, which mainly deals with a predictive variable as 0 or 1. Like suppose in some of the medical diagnosis cases, we use logistic regression to determine a tumor as malignant or benign. So that's kind of a classical example of binary logistic regression. Similarly, there are multiple categories we used in logistic regression space. We call it as a multinomial logistic regression. Like certain cases like when we use image classification technique, when we have to detect an image, whether it's a cat or dog or something else, then we have to run multiple categories in the model. So that's a classical example of logistic regression that deals with multi-class level. Also, there are ordinal logistic regression applications that are available. Like suppose if you want to build a Netflix movie recommender system, then you build a logistic regression technique that deals with ordinal variable. That means it will classify the ratings within a range from 1 to 5. So apart from that, there are certain logistic regression example that deals with different variabilities. But I'm not going to go into that today, but I'll definitely provide some sample or learning materials that will give you a very brief overview of some other real-life application that you can develop using logistic regression mechanism. The mathematical foundation of logistic regression is based on estimated probability. That means it basically uses a probability function to determine the output or the predictive variable. For example, the main hypothesis of simple linear logistic regression is based on sigmoid function. As you can see in the sigmoid curve, if the z value goes to positive infinity, the predictor value would be 1. If it goes to negative infinity, the predictor value would be 0. So based on the outcome of the z value, it determines whether the value would be a positive or negative. So in some cases, we need to use decision boundary. Like suppose after you training the model, logistic regression model, if the value would come after certain threshold, then it round up and provides the value as 1. But the actual value is below the threshold, then it basically consider it as a 0 value. So based on this binary predictor value, the 0 or 1, it determines the outcome of the logistic regression model. And that's how we will classify the object or email or even any other stuff that we pass it through a logistic regression model. So next time when you want to build a logistic regression model, just think about that what you want to classify. Because based on your categorical variable that you want as predictor, you will have to determine that what all the labels you will put in your trained data set. Like suppose if you want to classify email based on their spam and non-spam feature, you need to make sure that you're passing both types of email in your trained data sets. Otherwise, your logistic regression model won't be able to determine the email categories. That's all for now. Hope you like my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. In my next video, I'll talk about that how you can apply logistic regression using R, because that will be a very intriguing session for you, because you need to know how you can use logistic regression for real life application, and that will help you in your data science work. So stay tuned. Until then, goodbye.